Hey folks, it's Matt from LoadSmart here with our very first episode of On the Road. Today we're chatting with Joe Burks from American Citizens Transport about their experience hauling freight throughout the pandemic. So Joe, thank you for taking the time to speak with us today. So I guess tell me a little bit about your business.
We started just about 3 years ago. We're almost got our third full year in. We started out with just 2 trucks, one to drive and another just in case that one broke down, no trailers. So we had to hustle some trailers, usually a loadout trailer to get our feet on the ground.
Yep.
And, now we're up to a dozen trucks on the road and 19 trailers.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and then predominantly we're doing dry van freight.
Cool. Is it a particular commodity or is it just all over the place?
It was different commodity before this pandemic, but we was doing a lot of. We have a new paper mill that's pretty localized to us, about maybe 10 minutes from our yard.
Oh, gotcha.
And so we was pulling in from Columbus market, Cincinnati market, Dayton markets, Akron markets, doing about 15 a day going into this paper mill.
Oh, wow.
But needless to say, this scrap paper, as you can imagine, turned out was contaminated. And that kind of threw a little twist into our game plan, right?
What were the challenges that you guys had as a business, like prior to COVID, basically changing everything? And then I'd love to learn a little bit more about like the specific challenges you had basically trying to operate, while pandemic's underway.
Before the pandemic, I guess everything was going well. We had actually planned to put up our building in the spring this year.
Oh, wow.
Of course, we put that off, because of this. But, it's a hustle every single day, to find what you need. And, we was just doing what everybody else does, right?
Yeah.
Now, when the pandemic came, boy, that changed a few things for certain. And all of a sudden, there's 10 trucks available for every load.
Yep.
And there's a tremendous amount of, let's just say, the brokers that took full advantage of that. Because of their lack of volume, I'm sure that they had to, try to make their ends meet. It substantially drove the rates down, and so we struggled through it as everyone else. Had to switch what we was running over to essentials.
Yep.
You know what? We're getting through it.
Did you have any thoughts in your head about like whether or not you even wanted you or your employees driving through it, or was it?
Not only did I, but also the employees, especially the ones with like a new child, a new baby in the house, or one coming. It's like, boy, if we get out here and we catch this, we fear for our family. I mean, just like I guess everyone else. I did have a couple of drivers that took a little bit of time off. One of them, he's like, listen, put me back in the truck. I can't take this being home. But so just like everyone else, wasn't comfortable, but we did what we had to do.
Talk to me a little bit about like the facilities you guys were visiting. Like, how do you feel like they adapted well? Like, obviously they had to make changes and stuff like that.
Right.
But I'm just curious, like how you think about how facilities adapted and how were they helpful for you guys as drivers?
Well, different facilities, depending on what their product was, were different. Now we had some facilities that would take the driver's temperature in order to service them, at pickup or delivery. There were some other shippers or receivers that would not allow you to come into their building, and they would, bring your bills outside or make you sign in outside. They should supply, an access, even if it was a porta pot outside, access, because, you know, a lot of them just said, listen, you cannot come into our building through this. And, you know, they still have, you know,
Yeah.
use the restroom, right? So, you know, that could have helped out a little bit.
You know, as you're trying to like transition to, you know, new sources of freight potentially, like I'm just curious, like, did you end up working with new partners, working more with existing
Certainly.
partners? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. We, like I said, we had to get away from product that was contaminated.
Yeah.
But as you could see, you know, taking paper to the paper mill, that's basically scrap paper that was our primary deal, you know, from several markets. And you know what? So, yeah, so we had to get into some essentials. We're hauling quite a bit of water now and some dry food products.
Another question I have for you, and it's kind of open-ended. I'm just curious, what are your views on where this is all headed?
In the last couple of weeks, it's very evident that there's some people that's going back to work just based on the freight rates that are coming out.
We're also seeing like tender rejection, primary tender rejection, like that's starting to creep back up a little bit. Volumes are creeping back up. So yeah, I agree. I think like what we're starting to see as, you know, people start going back to work, even in maybe a limited capacity, is like we're starting to see a rise in freight, or at least in volumes.
It's going to take everybody continuing to do the right thing with the social distancing.
Yep.
And, you know, all the things, the washing the hands and sanitizing. Boy, it's just times that we've never seen.
Is there anything else that you feel like I should have asked you about, but didn't?
It might take a couple more hours daily
Yeah.
to, you know, to meet your needs, make sure everybody's good. Of course, you know, the forward load and the back load is more important now than ever because of the way that the rates have just been driven down because of this. So you can't just go one way and come back empty no more.
Yeah.
You won't be in business long.
Yeah.
But you know what? All in all, we just like everybody else, just do what we got to do, get through and struggle together. And we'll get through it together.
You know, there's no better thought to kind of finish this interview on, honestly. Like that, I think what you just said there in a nutshell is that's it. So thanks, Joe. I appreciate you taking the time to talk.
Hey, Matt, I appreciate you taking the time for me as well.